Hi, everyone, and happy week 11. We are nearing the home stretch of the semester, which gives us a good opportunity to take stock of what we've learned so far and to try to synthesize it and bring it all together so that it's starting to kind of make sense as a coherent whole. So, our work together this week is going to be focused on two things. The first is primarily a large synthesis activity, which we'll do in class on Wednesday. But we'll also spend some time on Wednesday discussing a sample author style analysis essay that a former student of mine wrote. And we'll use that as an example to help you think about what you can do for your own author style analysis essay, which will be coming due in the next week. So to prepare for class on Wednesday, all you need to do, it's kind of a light reading week, mercifully. So all you need to do is read the author style analysis essay that's posted in the week 10 folder. And we'll talk about that in class on Wednesday. So after class on Wednesday, there's only one other major thing that you need to complete for the week, and that is a discussion board assignment that I'll explain in a little bit at the end of this video. So we won't be doing two discussion boards as we have in past weeks. Instead, there will just be one larger assignment that's connected to this larger synthesis and reflection that we're doing in week 11. So our major concepts for week 11 are synthesis, talking about analytical writing in both style and form. That's related to our author style analysis essay. And then finally, some activities to help you start articulating your own style. So in terms of, as I mentioned before, we're doing a synthesis activity in class, but in terms of the analytical writing, I'm really interested in having a conversation with you about the analytical essay as sort of an academic form of writing, since that is what you're doing for your author style analysis essay. So as I mentioned, I'd like you to read a sample paper that was written by a former student of mine, Clem Danier, and she wrote her author style analysis on Lemony Snicket, which may be a familiar text for all of you. So as you read this, I would encourage you to consider the following questions. So how does Clem follow typical conventions of academic writing? So kind of look for a thesis statement, her organization strategies, how she's developing her ideas, how she's choosing specific language. So kind of thinking about both form and style, but also kind of look to this as, or read this like you are a writer, as you are a writer, and think about what writing strategies Clem used that you might be able to apply in your own author style analysis essay that you're writing on your author. So as I said, we'll spend some time talking about that in class. But then the other major piece of our work this week is focused on helping you think through your own style and how to articulate your style. And so this is going to take place on the discussion boards this week. So rather than having an in-class activity, I'm going to kind of move that over to the discussion boards and have you interact with each other there. So what I'm asking you to do is spend some time thinking and writing about your own style. And in order to do that, I want to kind of start with an idea that is from our old friend Ben Yagoda, that remember that cranky old professor who had a lot of opinions about writing and about student writers. Well, he also has this really great quote that I think is interesting. He says, "In the stories writers tell themselves about their own development, there are all kinds of tipping points." So I'm interested in having you think about what are the kinds of stories that you tell about yourself as a writer, that you tell yourself or that you tell other people about you as a writer. So what or who have been your influences? What have been turning points in your writing when you've seen it really shift from one level to another, where you've seen your writing really change or grow in interesting or meaningful ways? When did you find your voice? What happened to help you find your voice? And even if you don't feel 100% confident that you have fully arrived at your voice, where are you right now with it? And how did you get there? I'd also encourage you to think about what kinds of topics, themes, or ideas you like to write about. What are the preferred genres that you like to write in? Why do you choose those genres? So, for example, are you really interested in professional writing and doing infographics and kind of graphic design type of work? Or are you more interested in creative writing or podcasts or short stories or poems? So, kind of explore a little bit about the kind of genres that you like to write in, what that genre affords you as a writer, meaning what you're able to do as a writer because you write in those genres, and how that genre might also constrain or limit in some ways how or what you write. And then finally, how would you describe your style? How do others describe your style? And the last set of questions to think about are about your writing process. So we've talked about how all writers have their own writing process. And so this is an opportunity for you to kind of think through your own writing process. So what's your typical writing process? And then when in your process do you pay most attention to style? How does your thinking about style change at each stage in your process? So, for example, are you thinking about style right away as you begin brainstorming? Or is this something that you are mostly paying attention to in drafting or as you're revising? Or is it something that you ask for feedback on from other people? So, kind of thinking through these questions and then also thinking, how might you be able to adapt your process for all the kinds of writing that you're doing to make more room for style? So all of these questions are questions that I'm going to ask you to explore in your week 11 discussion board. So as you'll see, the prompt is on the screen here. What I'm asking you to do is write out answers, two to three sentences for each of those questions, and then bring those questions or that idea together to kind of explore how you see what you write as being a result of your experiences as a writer. Or another way of thinking about it is, how do the stories that you tell about yourself as a writer shape your writing or your writing process? So I'm really hopeful that this discussion board will give you a good opportunity to reflect on and think about what we've talked about this whole semester, and connect it to the writing that you do and have done throughout your life as a writer, as a student of writing, and kind of think about those kinds of things. So reflect on your experiences as a writer, respond to each of those questions, and then synthesize your responses. And then I'm also asking you, as I mentioned, to respond to at least two of your classmates' posts. So I'm hopeful that we can really engage with each other and talk with each other about our different processes. So feel free to get those discussions sparked on the discussion board this week. So that's the plan for this week. If you have any questions, by all means, let me know. Otherwise, I'm looking forward to seeing you on Wednesday. And I'm actually really looking forward to seeing what you write about your own writing later in the week on the discussion boards. So I hope your week starts out well, and I will see you all on Wednesday.